Hi guys, Alex here. Welcome back to Girl Talk. I've got a little bit of mess and a little bit of drama today for you guys. For today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about this exclusive interview that Amberlynn Reid's ex-girlfriend Beck did on Karina Kaboom's channel. On last night's live stream, we discussed and speculated on the reason why Karina Kaboom actually posted a community tab asking for questions that people would like to ask Beck. Why would she post this? Is Becky coming on? Well, the suspicions turned out to be true because today, Karina posted a video where Beck answers some of our most burning questions, including the real reason, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, that she broke up with Miss Amberlynn Reid. Today, I'm going to break down all of the fabulous tea Beck spilled and talk about her life update. Wow, I can't believe it, guys. As if Amberlynn needed any more drama right now. People just keep coming out of the woodwork. It's like whack-a-mole, and Amber has to come up with her own narrative to debunk what these people are saying. But the problem is nobody believes Amber anymore, especially when it comes to Beck. I'm gonna believe Beck over ALR any day. Erica Valentine, I might not believe her because she's a clown, but we know Beck is telling the truth. Who is going to be next to expose Amberlynn? Well, don't forget to subscribe to Alex's Shook, and I will keep you up to date on just that. Let's just get right into it. Shall we? All right, you guys, so the video begins. Karina says Beck and her partner reached out and wanted to do a Q&A with a reaction channel. For some undisclosed reason, Beck did not want to do this on her own channel, maybe because recently Amber called Beck money hungry, which will be addressed later. The interview starts with a quick life update from Beck. They claim to be doing very well. Their life is completely different now. Beck has made some huge changes. And if you haven't yet heard, Beck is actually engaged to be wed. She claims that this is the love of her life. And here's some fun shade. I don't know if this was intentional on Beck's part, but she says that the new fiance treats her better than any other girlfriend she has ever had previously, which totally reminded me of Amber. After the relationship ended with Beck, Amber would always say that wifey was so much better in basically every single way compared to her previous partners. But as we have found out in hindsight, that wasn't necessarily true. Amber said that wifey was going to be so good for her, losing weight. She didn't lose a pound. Beck says that she has gone through a healing journey these past couple of years, dealing with everything that happened between 2019 and 2020. Being in a healthy relationship was almost like shocking to Beck. She was just not used to it, I bet. We even heard from Beck talk about her previous relationships, and they weren't healthy either before Amberlynn. Listening to Beck talk, you can tell that they are in a much better place mentally with this new fiance and as far away from Amberlynn as possible. So now onto the drama of it all. Beck says that she is not surprised about all of the shenanigans that have been happening on Amber's channel right now because she and her family dealt with it firsthand, even saying flat out that this relationship between Beck and Amber drove a wedge between her relationship with her sister and her mother. And this happened during her mother's final years. That has to be tough looking back because Beck did stand by and stick up for Amberlynn. I know that we have been wondering for years, what was the final straw for Beck? What caused her to finally break up with Amberlynn? Well, the truth is stranger than fiction. Apparently, Beck, Eric, and Ricky had this group chat. Just the three of them, right? And of course, Amber was not a part of it. I guess she was just dying to know what they were talking about in that group chat. None of your business, girl. Well, what happened was Amber got Beck's phone, went into the group chat, and pretended to be Beck and asked them to add Amberlynn to it. Eric and Ricky knew right away that it was not Beck talking. And so this caused a huge fight between Amberlynn and Beck, where Beck ended up staying with family because she could just not stand another minute there with her. And then when she returned, boom, Beck ended it. People also wonder if things were so bad with Amberlynn, why did she stay? I mean, that is a lot to unpack, I'm sure. But one of the reasons Beck does state in the video, in the interview, was that she felt a responsibility to take care of the animals. and even take care of Amber Lynn. Despite everything, Beck didn't want anything bad to happen to the little family that they had built. Beck felt that Amber Lynn needed her, and her self-esteem told her, I don't deserve better. It makes me a little teary, so that's why Beck stayed. Next, Beck discusses Amber calling her money hungry, which I already addressed this. I think it's a huge joke because there is so much more that Beck could do if they were money hungry. Beck has been off of YouTube for a while now, and if it was just about the money, why would she do her big return on Karina Kaboom when they could do it on their own channel and capitalize on all this drama surrounding Amber Lynn right now? The allegations just aren't sticking, girl. How ridiculous is it for Amber to call anyone money hungry when even her most recent girlfriend, Tommy, was saying the same thing? She's capitalizing off of my pain while I just, quote, lost everything. That's what Tommy said in the leaked DMs. She's capitalizing on it. She's making money off of it. Isn't it interesting that we hear the same things from some of these girls? Makes you wonder who's the problem. Not like we don't already know. Beck addresses the live streams that she did with Amber Lynn. We have been wondering, I even asked this last night, did she give any of that money to Beck, the money that they made doing those live streams together? Because Beck deserves it. She sat with her there for hours. Amber even said publicly, I remember, Beck is getting paid for being a part of these. She made a big deal out of it, even saying, I hired my ex. I remember that specifically. I hired my ex. I need to go back and get that footage. Well, Beck reveals that they got nothing from those live streams. A big fat goose egg. Nothing. Amber Lynn told Beck that it just had to go to the bills, which is complete BS. Amber knows that she made bucos and bucos of money on those live streams post-breakup. Of course, she could have used a part of the money to pay Beck's share of the bills, but there was plenty left over. The figure that she owed Becky is probably in the thousands. But Beck claims she left her high and dry, leaving her with only $200 at the end of the breakup. After she took care of her for years, that's it, nothing. She kicked her out with $200. She stole. Amber Lynn stole Beck's money. That's disgusting. And then she has the audacity to come on here and call her money hungry? How greedy can you be? I'm like angry for Beck after everything that they did for her. Amber Lynn left her penniless while she trashed her all over social media. Karina even said, and I agree with this, Beck was the talent. People watched the live stream era for Beck. It's so true because if you go back and look at the views when Beck was on versus when it was just Amber Lynn talking to the camera, it's night and day. Okay, moving on to some details from the beginning of their relationship. Beck states, when they first began talking to Amber Lynn, Beck wanted to take things slow, but Amber's not about that. I mean, right now there's a post on TikTok of Amber Lynn and Tommy saying, I love you already. They're alluding to being engaged, probably to take away from Beck's engagement. Amber can't have anyone else having the spotlight for even a second in this community. It's even worse than Foodie Beauty, but we know how Amber is. She does not like to take it slow. So Amber told Beck in the beginning of their relationship, probably just a few months into talking, that there is a line of people just waiting to be in a relationship with her. So if Beck wasn't going to do it her way, meaning move fast, let's move in together, then there's the door. I mean, I can't believe it, but I can believe it. What a way to manipulate somebody. There is a line of people just waiting to date me, so if we don't make this official fast, I'm going to move on. Come on. Amber wants all of these ladies to think that she is this hot commodity. But look at her now. She was talking to all of these women, like 5 women at one time. Meanwhile, on the YouTube, she was telling everyone that she was working on herself and she was single, when that was the complete opposite narrative of what was actually going on in her life. But she's not a liar, right? I mean, it's wild that it took this long for all of this to come out. Beck rushed into it because she didn't want to lose the relationship/friendship that she built with Amber Lynn. And then Beck was stuck with her. And things only got worse from there to the point where she couldn't take care of herself. We all saw that happen on camera. 2019, anyone? Beck then discusses Amber still talking to her friends, Eric and Ricky. Did they reach out to Beck to see what they thought? Well, no. Apparently that relationship is strained between Eric and Ricky and Beck, and they haven't spoken in about a year. They got upset with her when Beck was isolating, probably being very antisocial during that difficult period. trying to pick up the pieces after Amber Lynn destroyed her. Well, they got upset because Beck was just not texting back. I know it can be difficult to deal with something like that, but they were friends for so long. This makes me sad that Eric and or Ricky did not eventually reach out to Beck to see. Keep trying to reach out. There's only so much that you can do, and we haven't heard from Eric and Ricky, but that sucks. They had to know what she was going through, right? And then to watch them turn around and hang out with Amber Lynn, I don't know, it just feels like a betrayal and makes me look at Eric and Ricky a different way. And yes, Eric, I will keep your name in my mouth. Okay, now things get a little bit wild. Beck says that before they broke up for the last time in July 2021, there was multiple times that Beck tried to call it quits with Amber Lynn, but Amber would argue and go crazy and basically plead for Beck to stick it out. Queen of manipulation. At one point, it got so bad that Beck's family even had an intervention where they got Beck alone and begged her to leave Amber Lynn. Begged. The family knew just how unhealthy it was and thought that Beck changed being with Amber. Like her nasty negative vibes rubbed off and made Becky a different person for the worst. But Beck felt like they had nowhere to go. It was a bad situation. Amber's controlling ways led her to time Beck. When Beck was hanging out with her friends, Amber would set a timer for when Beck had to be back. Are you kidding me? No wonder she wanted to set up the Life 360 tracking app with Erica Valentine. Amber has to know exactly where you are at all times of the day, and you need to be back at certain times to take care of her needs. So controlling. This is honestly scary. I think it really gives you insight into what it is like being in a relationship with Amber Lynn. Like we said, that free ride that these girls are coming into the DMs trying to get, it comes with a price, and it's not worth it. Clearly, the way that she bulldozed over Becky's self-esteem to the point where it took her years to build back up. I think it's easy to say in a situation like this, why didn't you just leave? You could have just walked out the door. Well, it is much more complicated than that. I mean, Beck really didn't have anywhere to go. They had no money. Amber had told them to quit their job. And even after the breakup, we saw what Beck went through going from house to house, trying to find a place that she could stay. And Amber ended up leaving her with absolutely nothing. I think every time that we hear from Beck, things get worse and worse. But this form of abuse where she is actually timing everything that Beck does, that has to be one of the worst things that we have heard in regards to this relationship. Tommy, you better watch out. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. What was the most alarming thing that Beck revealed this time? I feel like out of all the times that she has exposed Amber Lynn, this one's really going to leave its mark. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye, everyone.